Okay, hello, hello. I feel like it's been forever since I've been live, I was like it preparing for the live stream. I was like, "Oh, how do I go live again?" Cuz it's been so long since I've been live. It has been since I think since September when I trial streamed the final trial in the um, Governor Whitmer Fednapping case. So very good to be live and to get to spend time with everybody. Um, okay, so let's see. The thing is that for this subject matter, obviously, um, it's very dark. And the other issue is cover. So the the complaint itself has what I think is inappropriate. Like I'm not going to share my screen and show everything here. We're going to talk about the Meta lawsuit. So we'll just see how it goes and how much I share my screen with you guys, and how much detail I go into. But as a parent, like as a mother, I thought it was really important to talk about what is going on these platforms, especially platforms like Instagram that seem more innocuous, I guess, um, to see that they are enabling, well, this is really, I think, a confirmation of what we've all known for a long time. And this lawsuit basically says that in many ways, Facebook and Instagram are sort of like they've become sort of like a back page. If you guys know what Backpage was shut down, but it was sort of like a online marketplace where illicit activity could take place. The other issue here is, you know, I've got to make sure that I'm not fed casting, if you know what I mean, because it this stuff makes me so angry, and you guys will see also. I have to make sure that like I don't curse or anything like that. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get into this. There's a lot I want to cover, so it all goes together though. Try to stay with me, try to follow me. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But I want to start here, and that is the article from Business Insider. This is an article from 2020. So I kind of like want to go in time order here, but there is one thing we're going to look at the end that is from 2017. But in time order, this article, Instagram could face up to $500 billion in fines and class action lawsuit alleging it illegally harvested biometric data. So there's that. This is an article from August of 2020. A new lawsuit accuses Instagram of collecting people's biometric data without their consent. Facebook, which owns Instagram, offered $650 million to settle a similar lawsuit alleging Facebook's photo tagging also collected biometric data without consent. So, of course, I mean, I'm sure you guys aren't surprised by this. That's a thing. Now, the next thing I want to get to, and again, I've got this stuff in date order, chronological order. So that was 2020. This is the next thing I want to bring up because this is the 2022, July of 2022. Parents speak out on lawsuit accusing Instagram of fueling their daughters' ED and depression. Two lawsuits call for Meta to take responsibility for Instagram's impact. And I'm sure people are going to have a variety of opinions on this, but I do think that Instagram in particular is a problem with stuff like that, and Facebook as well, really. But I think all social media is. But this young girl, yes. So yeah, they're facing a lot of criticism for what they do. And remember also that um, Facebook was LifeLog. LifeLog was a DARPA like program that was part of their total information awareness program. Like LifeLog was going to be a diary of somebody's entire life. That's sort of what Facebook is. So all of these social media platforms have like dual uses. There's the commercial aspect of it, but then there's also a surveillance, intelligence, and like military aspect to it, if that makes sense. And so Facebook in particular has always been really creepy to me. Their algorithms, how their algorithms work. I'm sure you guys know about Cambridge Analytica and psychometrics, psychographics, how much information that they have on people and how it works. How much they have, like 5 to 8,000 unique data points on every single person. Think about how much they know about you. Like they know more about you than you know about yourself. It's very scary. Okay. All right. So, moving on, the next thing that comes out is this article. This is from the Wall Street Journal, and this is in July of 2023. So that is just this past summer. And I'm sure you guys remember when this story came out. It was a pretty, big. Well, it was a pretty big revelation. It should have been bigger, though. Certainly wasn't enough to really do anything about it. And they know this stuff is going on. They have millions of dollars. The idea that they're not aware of this is ridiculous. So we'll go over this article and then we're going to talk about the lawsuit. But it's probably safer to cover the article here. I don't want to share the screen. There's some things I'm going to share with you guys, but I'm telling you, like, there is some really gross stuff, and I do not want to I'm not going to share it because it's just like no one needs to see it. All right. Okay, but this is basically the story. So Instagram, owned by Meta, connects and promotes. This is the other thing, that it's not just that they're connecting predators, pedos. The other issue with the YouTube's community guidelines and terms of service, like, I can't even call these people what I want to call them. You guys know what I want to call them. They're scumbags, though. I have to use code words, though. So I have to say, like, pedo or whatever. I can't say the actual word and really what should be done to them. Okay, so it connects them and then it promotes this content to them. It figures out like what they like and then it feeds it to them and it connects other pedophiles together. Like the way that their algorithms work or whatever, that's what's happening. And it's the way that their algorithms work versus like other social media algorithms. From what I understand, like Facebook's is the worst for this. For connecting the pedophiles and like serving them, like Instagram also, all part of Meta. So their platforms are connecting and promoting a vast network of accounts openly devoted to the commission and purchase of underage content. This is according to research that was done by the Wall Street Journal and researchers at Stanford University and University of Massachusetts. These predators have used the internet for a long time. Unlike forums and file transfer services that cater to people who have interest in illicit content, Instagram doesn't merely host the activities, it is promoting them. It connects predators to each other and then guides them to people who are selling and producing the explicit content. It, through its recommendation system, it is giving it to them. That it excels at linking those who share niche interests. That's one way of putting it. Though out of sight for most of the platform, the inappropriate accounts on Instagram are brazen about their interest. Yes, the researchers found Instagram enabled people to search explicit hashtag. I don't even know how to read this stuff. It's so gross. Hashtags such as that one. You guys can read this, right? Let me see if I can zoom in more. Well, I guess you're going to have to deal with it. But very inappropriate hashtags. You can see this. It's disgusting. So those are allowed to just proliferate. Like come on. This is $1 million platform and they don't have the ability to censor these hashtags. They don't know this is going on. Of course they do. And they know that. It's like this is a money-making thing for them. They've realized they can make a lot of money facilitating this. So these hashtags, it helps people search and then it connects them to other accounts that used those terms to advertise child inappropriate material for sale. Such accounts often claim to be run by children themselves, also concerning, and use overtly inappropriate handles incorporating words, phrases such as this, which I can't even read because it's so gross. Instagram accounts offering to sell illicit material generally don't publish it openly, but then they post like menus. So they'll post like a picture, and on the picture, it'll list certain things that could be read in numerous ways. But it's obvious like what it is. And you can tell by like the way the accounts are, the way that and I'll give you guys the links. Like at the end of the stream, I will update the video description and I will link the lawsuit so you can go over it yourself. It's 220 something pages. And it is like there's a warning on the front of it saying it is explicit. You should go through it yourself and you should look at some of this stuff because if you have children, like it is going to it'll keep you up at night. It's so awful. And the other thing that makes me very angry about this is there are parents who are advertising and selling their children on these platforms. Parents. And I just can't imagine what goes through the punishment that the child predators should get. Parents who are willing to do that to their own children, they should get the same punishment. That's just my personal opinion. You could say that's extreme, but like, you know what the Bible says. Millstone, okay? For real. My goodness. Okay, I'm going to go back to this. Like I want it to be full screen so that you guys can read this and see it for yourself. And then I'm going to go through, I have a couple pages I'm going to bring up where I'm not going to bring up super explicit stuff, but I'm still going to show you like how gross this is because it is so, I knew it was bad, but like, I didn't even know it was this bad until I started looking at this stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, he's like, I guess you don't know if you don't know. Instagram accounts offering to sell this content publish menus. Certain accounts invite buyers to commission specific acts. So these accounts will encourage people that like they can make requests for things they want to see. You know what that means. Some menus include prices for videos of children doing bad things to themselves and quote imagery of things that I can't say happening with animals. It's awful. And so at the right price, children are available for quote unquote in-person meetups. This is all being done on these mainstream platforms. Think about how many hit pieces have been written about um like alternative tech platforms like Gab or whatever. You know, it just is it's crazy to me, like Odyssey, BitChute, Rumble, all of these like alternative platforms get, anytime something happens and they can kind of like peripherally link the person to like Gab or whatever, they try to like use that to get these things shut down, these platforms and stuff. They did it with the Chans. You guys remember that, and the so-called manifestos and all that was getting posted there. So they were using that as reasons to get them shut down. But it's like, just go look at these mainstream big tech platforms, look at what's happening on those platforms, and it's it's so much worse. Like all of the other platforms I just named, they don't have this problem on their website, you know. So I'm going to look at some of your comments here. I've been meaning to interact with you guys. Let's see. Okay. Why they are protected. Yeah. Yes. Okay. This feels like a certain republic repeating history. Yes. Gregory says insane. Yes. It could be a distraction from various genocides, but I don't think so. Yeah. Well, no, they don't. The FBI is too busy investigating like grandmas, you know, for walking around in a building on a certain date. That's what they're busy doing. So, and they're going, you know, they're creating fake kidnapping plots. They don't care about this stuff. But anyways, I want to continue because I want to keep the stream. I don't want to keep it. I don't want to ramble. I have a tendency to like ramble. You guys know that if I'm not like focused. And I promised myself I wasn't going to go too late tonight because I've been really tired. But I haven't streamed in forever. And I was like, you know what? Instead of just doing a video on this, I should do a live stream on it because I really do want to. I like getting your comments in real time. And yeah, I haven't streamed in a while because it's hard for me to do it, I guess. I don't like streaming. It's difficult. It's easier for me to just record a video, you know? But anyways, okay, so going back to this article, this was again, this is July of 2023, so just a few months ago. This research comes out from the researchers from Wall Street Journal, from several universities, where they have found that they are basically, these platforms are knowingly facilitating this and they're profiting from it themselves. Not only that, but there isn't really a way to report it. In fact, there was a family who wanted to report their own child in one of these videos to get it removed, and they weren't able to do that. That should make you very angry. Can you imagine somebody does something awful to your child and videotapes it and then publishes it on this platform? This is illegal content, first of all, but there's no way to report it and to get it taken down. And when you try, your attempts are rejected. Like, that's what was happening. And I already know, like, because of the subject matter, like what we're covering, the stream's going to be suppressed because like all of this stuff, they hit on all of the code words that are suppressed and censored by the algorithm. That's just how it is. But hopefully this information gets out to more people, especially parents that have children that are using these platforms and think that because they're these mainstream big platforms that they're somehow safe. They're not. In response to questions from the Wall Street Journal, Meta acknowledged problems within its enforcement operations and said it set up an internal task force to address the issues raised. Child exploitation is a horrific crime, the company said, adding, quote, "We're continuously investigating ways to actively defend against this behavior." That is not true at all. They certainly aren't. So they claim that since this has happened, they have taken steps to take down 27 of these predator networks. And it's planning, they claim, more removals. I'm not buying it. I'm just not. Um, yeah. Alex Stamos, head of the Stanford Internet Observatory and Meta's chief security officer since 2018. So Stanford is one of the places that did the study. And this is a guy who worked at Stanford, or he was head at Stanford's Internet Observatory. Now he works for Meta. So there's this incestuous relationship there between like academia and big tech, obviously, and of course the intelligence community. But anyways, he says that it's getting even obvious abuse under control, but it would take a sustained effort. That a team of 3 academics with limited access could find such a huge network should set off alarms, he says, noting the company has far more effective tools to map these networks than outsiders do. So they're like, oh, let us regulate ourselves. I hope the company reinvests in human investigators, he added. Okay, so now I'm going to move on from this. And again, I will, at the end of this, I'm going to update the video description to put this stuff in there. All these links for you guys so you can go through this yourself. But I'm going to go through now to what just came out this month from the Attorney General, Raul Torres, the Attorney General of New Mexico. He put out this press release announcing their lawsuit against Meta and Mark Zuckerberg himself to protect children from SA and HT. I have to abbreviate that. I know it's stupid and it's immature, but that's where we are on these very platforms. So, it is what it is, I guess. Very quickly, I want to check the other platforms and just make sure that I actually am live, because I don't know if I did it right. I should be live. Okay. I think maybe I think I am. I think I'm live. Yeah, I am. Definitely on the other platforms. Okay, so that's something I wanted to tell you guys about also. And then we'll get back into this. I am now streaming on Rumble. You guys pushed me to set up the Rumble and I've done it, but I want you to know I'm not happy about it. Rumble has to I like that they have improved a lot. But they still have a long way to go as far as Rumble. Yeah, it's clunky, exactly. But it's not just that it's clunky. It's sort of like if you don't have a big platform already on YouTube or whatever, and you can bring that audience with you to a place like Rumble, people don't just find me there, I guess, if that makes sense. People don't find my videos for whatever they're searching for. Rumble doesn't promote my stuff. They make it very hard for the way that they recommend videos to people. YouTube is much better at that, unfortunately. That's just how it is. There are people who tell me, and this is surprising, even because this channel is super, super suppressed, but YouTube does recommend some of my videos to people. And if they watch one of them, it'll recommend another of my videos to them that is something they might like, because I do videos on a variety of topics. So Rumble doesn't do stuff like that. If somebody stumbles across one of my videos on Rumble, it's not recommending to them another one. It's just not people don't discover you there. You kind of have to build your audience, and then if you're lucky and you have a big enough audience, you can bring them over there and transition them to it. But that's kind of the problem with these alternative platforms for now. But I wanted to let you guys know also that we're live here on YouTube right now. We're live on Rumble, but we're also live on nicecrew.tv, which is my friend's platform. And so, like, I know him and I trust him. You guys know him too. If you remember, I Hate the Antichrist, my old co-host. Yeah, so I'm live there. This is my first live stream there, which is very exciting. I'm going to put the link for you guys into the chat here, though. The heck? Sorry, I'm boomering it. Okay. That is, so just go there, nicecrew.tv, and just type in like Rate Experiment. You'll find my channel there. I like all the videos that I post here on YouTube will also go up over there. And then when I do live streams like this, I'll be live there, totally uncensored live chat, by the way. And I'll be live on Rumble or whatever. But also something that I was wondering where that guy went. Oh my gosh, you're calling him that guy. That's so rude. Oh my goodness. His name is Maddie. But yes, he has that. So I'm able to put all of my stuff there so I can like archive all of my videos here. As you guys know, I'm sure if you've been following my YouTube channel for a long time, you guys know how much stuff have I had to remove from this channel. He is, yeah, he's really cool. He is. He's a good friend. I've had to take down videos from the main channel here on YouTube, though, because of these constantly changing terms of service, I hear he is, But anyways, so as you know, that's been a problem. And so this is really great because having your friend run a platform where you can upload your stuff, it's pretty sweet. It's nice, so just please support the platform. Okay, bookmark it, nicecrew.tv, type in Rate Experiment, you'll find my channel there. You can create an account, you can talk in the chat uncensored, you can say whatever you want there, no one will tell you what to do. Everybody's very nice. And yeah, just subscribe to that. So there you go. What is Maggie? I didn't say Maggie. Oh my god. If he was watching this, he's gonna be so mad. Matty with a T. Like that. Oh my goodness. Okay, anyways, let's get back to this, please, before I completely forget what I'm even talking about tonight. This is why also I don't go live. Oh, wait, there is one other thing I wanted to tell you guys. So, I wanted to tell y'all that something I was going to do for people who are monthly supporters of the channel here on YouTube. If you guys are interested in this, and if you would like me to do it, I'm not going to do it if people don't want me to do it because I don't want to waste my time or yours. But if you guys want me, if you like me doing live streams where I can interact with people more and you want to hear me cover stuff like this completely uncensored, I would like to do private live streams over there for like monthly supporters. So if you're a monthly supporter of the channel, maybe once a month, I do a live stream just for monthly supporters. And it's on another platform that is completely uncensored and we can interact much better. If you guys are interested in something like that, let me know because that's absolutely something I can do as long as it's like something that everybody wants me to do and it's worth everybody's time. As Anonymous says, and I'm doing this too, I'm sure you guys have noticed this. He says, I'm trying to cut down on my internet time. I am also. This is why I haven't, because like this is, yeah, I have to be a mom, for the first and then do this stuff. Like, but anyways, I also like really both are top priorities, but you know what I mean? That's the more important job. This is secondary to that. So anywho, moving on, continuing. So the Attorney General, and this is something also I want to say, good for him, good for Mr. Torres for actually utilizing the power he has. This is something that drives me crazy about, well, politicians in general, but especially so-called conservative politicians, is they don't do anything. They talk a lot, but like when they have power, they don't exercise, like they don't use it. And so this is something that he has the ability as an attorney general to bring a lawsuit like this. Why aren't more attorney generals doing stuff like this? They can. That's the other thing. It shows you that they have the ability to do these things. They just choose not to. Why is this just happening now? You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. Well, and the other part of this is that it's not just that, like, I want, oh my God. Yeah, right. Not on your life. My life is in order, guys. It's just that, like, it's hard. I'm trying to do so many things at once. Not only, you know, am I trying to, like, be a parent first, but I'm also trying to finish my documentary. And that is basically, it's a freaking full-time job, okay, in addition to this stuff. But sometimes I have other things that I got to talk about. So anyways, yes, this is it's good to see at least one attorney general doing something about this. So he filed a lawsuit against Meta and also Mark Zuckerberg as an individual to protect children. Literally, that's what the lawsuit is about. From online exploitation. Quote, our investigation into Meta's social media platforms demonstrates they are not safe spaces for children, but rather prime locations for predators to trade CP and solicit minors, said the attorney general. Quote, as a career prosecutor who specialized in internet crimes against children, I am committed to using every available tool to put an end to these horrific practices, and I will hold companies and their executives accountable. So he says whenever they put profits ahead of children's safeties. And so this is what they did. Over the period of a few months, the New Mexico Attorney General's office did an undercover investigation of Meta's platform. So Meta is, I believe, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. So I believe they used all three of those. So they did the undercover investigation on all of the Meta platforms, creating decoy accounts of children 14 years and younger. The office gathered evidence that those platforms have proactively served and directed the underage users a stream of egregious, explicit images, even when the child has expressed no interest in this content. Well, I don't know why that part even needs to be mentioned. Like, even if they did express an interest, why would that matter? Like, it shouldn't be suggested to them regardless. That's such a stupid thing to say. Enable dozens of adults to find, contact, and then pressure children into providing explicit pictures of themselves or participating in graphic videos. It has recommended children join unmoderated Facebook groups devoted to facilitating commercial sex. It has allowed Facebook and Instagram users to find, share, and sell an enormous volume of CP, allowed a fictitious mother to offer her 13-year-old daughter for sale to traffickers to create a professional page that allowed her daughter to share ad revenue from the platform. So, yes, you guys are seeing this correctly. Boycott Fedbook. Yes, exactly. And that is a good name. Yes. Am I baptized? My daughter is baptized into the Orthodox Church. So anyways, what this is saying is not only is this stuff available on these platforms, but they're profiting. They allowed a fake account of what was somebody posing as a underage teenager to open up a professional page for commercial inappropriate activity, if you know what I mean. And then they allowed ad revenue, like revenue sharing on it. So they allowed her to monetize that professional page. Again, this is an underage child. So that is not a mistake. Like, that's not an accident. That is a business decision. Okay? That is a business decision. Um, Jacob says, we need to stop being surprised. These animals are in power and they're waging war against us. Act accordingly. That is a very good point. Tracebook and iPhone. Yeah, that's also a very good point. And I know I made a comment a long time ago, like several years ago, when the pizza GATE stuff was coming out. I said that I felt like something like Instagram or Fedbook could be used as like a catalog for predators, because think about the kinds of personal information that gets posted to a platform like Facebook. People put their age, their birthday. A lot of them join like groups. So say you're like an average teenager. A lot of these teenagers, they put on their page like what high school they go to, so they can connect with other people from that school. So if you're a predator and you're looking for somebody in your area, like, you can find one of these children's pages. You can find a lot of very personal information about them, like where they go to school. So you might know, if you want to show up in person, like where you can snatch and grab them. Like, that's the concern about it. And so obviously, if you are a parent, if you have children, and they use these platforms, like, just make sure you're monitoring them, because I think that especially for children, it's very easy for children to unknowingly be giving out way too much personal information in just the posts that they make. They reveal things about where they are in real time, who their friends are, what their daily routines and habits are. Like, think about things that they may not think about, things that they're posting that might give a predator like their entire daily schedule of where they are at what times, and like, it's too much. Okay. If you have children, just make sure you're monitoring all of their usage of social media, especially in light of seeing how, and this is actually a more important point, don't give your kid a smartphone. Unfortunately, though, in the modern age, even kids that are homeschooled have devices. Like, they're going to have a laptop, they're going to have a tablet, they're going to meet somebody, they have friends, like they play video games. It's not just one thing. Like, you can't really protect them and shield them from the world. You have to protect them the best you can, but at a certain point, they may be exposed to this stuff, and you may not have a way to prevent that from happening. Even if you don't allow them to have a phone, they may have ways to create these accounts. And also, if you're too restrictive with them, they may become sneaky, and they may try to go out and purposefully break your rules because you're too strict with them. I knew kids. So, like, my mother, as you guys know, was like an alcoholic narcissist, and she didn't really care what I was doing as long as I wasn't causing her any problems. So I didn't have like an overbearing parent. I had the exact opposite, like a very permissive parent who, as long as I was doing, wasn't bothering them, I could do whatever I wanted. But I did have friends who had parents that were very, very strict with them. And those people tended to like want to break the rules the most because of that. This is a good point. My youngest was on 10 minutes and predators were all over her. And I bet I'm wondering too if it's gotten worse in recent years. And shout out to Amazing Polly. You should follow her on the platform she's on. I do know she is on Rumble. I know she they took down so many different people. It just really makes me angry. All right, so let's see. Let's go to the actual lawsuit now. Unfortunately, like I said, I can't show all of this because it is essentially like, even though it's like they put some censoring on this, I still don't want to share this stuff because I'm not going to, it's inappropriate material and I'm not going to share it. So what I'll do is I'm going to we'll read the part of the lawsuit here, and then we'll read the introduction. I have a couple passages, some pages that I have marked out. We'll go to those pages and I want to show you specific things. And then I'll just put the links in and you guys can look at the rest of it yourself. And like I said, you should. Polly's just burnt out. She hardly posts anymore. Well, I can relate. I totally understand that, but she's done a lot of good work though, and she still has a lot of stuff that, even if it may not be totally new or up to date, it's still relevant. All right, so yes, let's go to the introduction here, and then I'm going to bring up a few things, and then we're going to try to wrap this up at a decent time. It is hard. It's definitely difficult. It spreads you thin, especially if you don't have somebody helping you. Like, I can tell you guys, just trying to manage the different things I'm on, like the different platforms I'm on, and like it's just, there's so much making thumbnails, and yeah, it's just like a lot of stuff. I kind of just, there's a lot of times I just want to say what I want to say, but I don't want to go through the hassle of like having to make a thumbnail and like, organize things in a cohesive way. I don't know. Maybe I should just do live streams more so I can just like talk about things briefly in the way that I want. All right. So again, going back to the lawsuit, I do want to read this part because this is really, it explains what's going on here. It goes into how Meta, it positions itself and it pretends publicly that it's doing a lot to look into these things. And it does have Meta has a lot of money that they can spend. I think they have 86,000 content moderators. So it's not like they don't have the ability to deal with this stuff. They certainly have the resources. They just don't want to because they profit from this stuff. The lawsuit describes the platforms, Facebook and Instagram, as a breeding ground for predators who target children for trafficking and the distribution of images for grooming and solicitation. Teens and preteens can easily register for unrestricted accounts because of lack of age verification. This is another thing that, interestingly enough, I was listening to like Spotify and they have ads, and one of the ads was for Instagram, and it was talking about how they were looking forward to working with Congress to like regulate themselves, or they were talking about how they're implementing an age verification for people 16 years and younger. And I just started hearing the ads for that this week. So I think that after this lawsuit was launched, that's what they're doing. They're now, so in order to sweep it under the rug and act like everything's fine, now they're going to work with Congress, they claim, to create an age verification system. All right, so continuing here. When they do, so they don't have they allow them to get these unrestricted accounts. They don't really have a way to verify their age. And then when they do, they direct them to harmful and inappropriate material. It allows unconnected adults to have unfettered access to them, which those adults use for grooming and solicitation. Meta's platforms do this even though Meta has the capability of both determining that these users are minors and providing warnings and other protections against material that is not only harmful to minors, but poses substantial dangers of solicitation and trafficking. For years, Meta has been on notice from both internal and external sources of the dangers its platform presents for children, but has nonetheless failed to stem the tide of damaging material and propositions delivered to children. In short, Meta has allowed Facebook and Instagram to become a marketplace for predators in search of children for whom to prey, exactly like Backpage. Meta's conduct is not only unacceptable, it is unlawful. Simultaneously with its knowing failure to curb the exploitation of children on its platforms, Meta targeted the age-based vulnerabilities of children by adopting algorithms and platform designs that are addictive to young users. Meta knowingly sought to maximize teen engagement on their platforms. So they implement features such as engagement-based feeds, infinite scroll, push notifications, ephemeral content, autoplay video, designed to increase the amount of time young people spend on the platforms while inhibiting the ability of those users to self-regulate. Meta's platforms are the social media equivalent of an addictive drug from which young users cannot break free. Meta knew these design features fostered addiction, anxiety, depression, bad things being done to yourself, and self-eating among teens and preteens. But Meta and its CEO rejected repeated internal proposals and external pressures to implement protections against youth mental health harm. Further, Meta selected a metric by which it measures conduct violative of community standard policies it knows to grossly underreport harmful material on its platforms. Meta uses this metric to make misrepresentations about the safety of its platforms for young users. Meta profits from its exposure of young users to harmful material and its refusal to implement features that would protect children from predators. It does so by not charging children for access to platforms, but instead by monetizing in the form of targeted advertising the data that Meta gathers about its young users and their usage. Meta's targeted advertising program allows advertisers to direct advertisements to consumers more precisely than would otherwise be possible using traditional media. This arrangement has been lucrative for Meta. The company reported more than $116 billion in revenue in 2022 and $117 billion the year before. As Meta's financials confirm, all or substantially all of this revenue is attributed to advertising and enhanced by its user data-driven ability to provide targeted advertisements. That's what I was trying to explain. And I didn't do a good job of it when I was discussing like the Cambridge Analytica, psychometrics, psychographics, all these different data points that they have for you. It's because if you guys remember that like button that like Facebook has, they have stuff like that is it used to be across like web pages and platforms, the like button, so it could kind of track your activity, basically not just on Facebook but across all of the different things that you were doing. And it was through that able to learn tons of information about people. Like I said, 5,000 to 8,000 unique data points on each person where they can predict your behavior. It is insane, the stuff that they have. And I am not the best person to explain this, but there are other people who can explain it better than me and have, and maybe I'll find a way to direct you to their material on it, because it's shocking and terrifying when you think about how much information is really out there that we don't know we're putting out there. And then what types of data sets can be purchased on like the, on the black market and all this shit. Like that's crazy. Okay. It's all crazy. All right. I'm going to now, you guys get the idea that they are knowingly facilitating this stuff. They're profiting from it. I'm going to move down now to page 27. I don't want to show, there are certain pictures I want to go past that I don't want you guys to see, but I do want to read some of the details of this to you guys because it's disgusting. All right, let me go to page 27. Okay. Okay, here we go. Yes, sick people. Yes. I've been here for less than a minute, and I'm not sure if I want to have kids. I guess that is the point. Brainwash the existing kids, make sure adults have no more. I mean, maybe that is the point, but I think everybody should be having children. Did I see a video from Really Graceful? Oh, wow. No, but I do like her. She does really good work also. And if you guys haven't subscribed to her channel, you should. Really Graceful. She always does really good stuff. And she also has a really good book that actually would make a really good Christmas gift if you guys are looking for one and you're looking for ideas. She has a book. I think it's like the Encyclopedia of the Deep State or something. But just go check out her channel. She'll have it listed there. Okay, so going back to the lawsuit, I wanted to go to page 27, number 71 here. Meta's conduct is not that of a publisher simply presenting content created by others. Instead, Meta's algorithms operate to search and disseminate exploitative and explicit material to create its own social network of users that is, read, child predators. So they want their own networks of predators looking to buy and sell the images and the children who are its casualties and its currency. A handful of investigators have done what Meta, with its staff of roughly 86,000, apparently will not: identify vast networks of child exploitative content on the platforms and identify some of the ways in which the functions and failures of the platform enable and spread the activity. None of the content below was removed, and none of it is consistent with Meta and Zuck's repeated representations that Meta maintains an environment that is safe for children. Okay, so here's where we get to some of these images, and I don't want to share the screen, but it's horrible. Anonymous says, perverts have always been here, at least since about 1900 anyway. No, that is true. However, the internet makes it very easy for them to connect with other predators, which makes them very dangerous because then they can form groups and networks and they can work together to facilitate their horrific conduct. Okay, so we're not going to share the screen because of this image that was going to be shown. I can, well, yeah, I can't show that at all, actually. I can show this much of the screen and then, unfortunately, because I'll lose my channel here. Like, this is really not okay. I can show this much and that's it. But you can look at this yourself, and I encourage you guys to do so. I will put the link to the lawsuit in the video description. Please go through it and look at this stuff. As bad and horrible as it is, you need to know what's happening. Investigators, for example, found and were recommended numerous images and links, including on Threads, Meta's version of Twitter. Yeah, you remember when he had a spurg out when Elon Musk purchased Twitter, and he's like decided to make his own version of it called Threads. It's that new platform is already filled with this horrific material. And it's awful. All right, I'm going to stop the screen sharing here and I'm going to scroll down. I'll just describe the picture to you. It is very clearly a it is a nude little girl on a bed, and there's Disney stuffed animals on the bed behind her. And that account has posted numerous things. So, um, yeah. Clear view of the girl's pose and body and items in the room suggest this is an image of a child in a very dark setting. The same account posted additional images and equally suggestive poses that were easily discovered by an investigator. And I'm not going to share this either, but you can see the name there. And here's the thing, I went and checked this recently, and a lot of this stuff is still there. Like, you can still now see these accounts are still up. Like, not all of this stuff has even been taken down. And it is just like, okay, I'm not going to share the screen again for now. It's probably FBI sting agents. Who knows? Who knows? Whatever it is, though, it's unacceptable and it should not be appearing on these platforms. Despite investigators making reports to remove harmful material, Meta, upon information and belief, has taken no action to remove the content that is violative. Okay, here is something I can show you guys, and I want to show you. And we're going to be, like I said, wrapping this up soon. Here's another good comment. Where's law enforcement? Does anyone know? Like, where are they to be found? Oh, yeah, that's right. They're busy creating fake kidnapping plots. Okay, numerous Instagram accounts offering links to purchase or trade this material with directions to connect offline, typically through WhatsApp or Telegram, both platforms that are entirely encrypted and therefore cannot be monitored for the transactions. A search for, quote, all new kids links available, unquote, on Instagram, for example, yielded dozens of options for this material. Notably, cheese pizza, with its shared initials, is known to be a proxy for inappropriate things, as you guys know. And I'm already thinking that I'm going to have to take down the stream here on YouTube when we're done. So you'll be able to watch the replay on Rumble and on NCTV, nicecrew.tv. And look at this. And I'm telling you, like I said, I went and did this recently. I recently checked, and you can still see this stuff. Type that in. Well, maybe you shouldn't, but if you type it into Instagram, you can still see this. Yes, they are. And they want to tell you that this stuff isn't real. How is this possible? Insane. Exactly. It is. This is happening. Look at this stuff. Now, they have it censored, but like I said, you can type in all new kids links available. You could type that phrase into Instagram and you're going to see tons of accounts like this. There are tons of them, and they are all offering this stuff, and it's awful. I have to stop sharing now. The profile picture at figure 4 shows 2 young girls in a very suggestive image. One of many other sellers showed a young girl in a bikini with her hand positioned suggestively. The ad promised the best price links and invited users to DM. Like, can you imagine? I want to fedcast. There are things I want to say that I can't. This is why I'm suggesting that, like, once a month for monthly supporters, we do an uncensored live stream where I can, like, go off in the full way I want to. Because I feel like I can't be myself trying to cover this stuff, you know? So what's the point in covering it? One of many other sellers showed a young girl in a bikini with her hand positioned suggestively. The ad promised the best price links and invited users to DM and included an image of $1,000 suggesting what the price of the content was. So they have ways, like these predators. Oh, yeah, I can't show that. The predators have ways of communicating with each other, so they don't have to say like a specific, oh, we're going to do a transaction. Like, they don't have to word it that way when they're doing this stuff. They have a language, and they use symbols or certain things that convey like what they're saying. So they can post a picture of $1,000 and They don't have to send any messages saying, yes, I'm going to sell you this for this amount. It's already known. It's like, it's self-explanatory. They have their secret language. Yeah, and that's a very good point. I agree. Okay, so I'll read some of this. I can't show that, but like I said, I'm going to include the links. I really do encourage you guys to look at it yourself. You should know like what's happening on these platforms and that this stuff is out there. Other Instagram posts included inappropriate images of children in thong underwear and lingerie with references that said, quote, available CP, and then a few other things I can't say, but I'll share the screen and show you guys real quick. They literally use the word kids. I don't know. They're using these abbreviations on these platforms out in the open. How is that happening? How are they able to get away with it? And again, it's like you should on the home page of them, pizza seller, this one says pizza seller. Oh my God. Okay, I can share the screen again now. The posts regularly included suggested for you content identified by the algorithm that directed users to other inappropriate material sellers or minor accounts. One typical example showed a links underscore here seller offering this associated with a PIZ.ZA link seller and other inappropriate material selling accounts, which the user is invited to follow. Like the platforms are promoting these people. They know who the sellers are, and they're promoting the sellers to people who they know would be buyers of the material. So that's what they're doing. They're connecting sellers to potential buyers, and they're finding people who may have a peripheral interest, and then they're recommending it to them. They're finding young teenagers who have don't know any of these people. They don't have friends of a friend, nothing like that. They're connecting children to these predators. That is what is happening. The Instagram seller below incorporates an image of a young girl serving a cheese pizza and advertises small girls, small boys, 3 years old to 12 years old. And then they say that. This is the problem trying to cover this stuff. I can't even cover it. Literally can't even share my screen because it's so awful. I did want to go to page 35 here. I can go here. We'll read one more part of this, and then I'm just done covering it for the night because I don't like to look at it and talk about it. It is pure evil. This is happening, and it's happening a lot because these platforms create the demand. Since they provide the supply and the distribution, it creates more and more demand because they make it so easily accessible. Investigators also followed sellers' links to their accounts. One link, for example, described itself on Telegram literally as this. They're not even hiding it. Like, they're abbreviating what it is, and that's how brazen and widespread this is, that they literally just title it that, referencing this inappropriate material. One of the videos showed inappropriate things. Like, I can't even say it here. Another account included a video of children dancing and inappropriate things happening. Investigators reported these and numerous other accounts to Meta. However, roughly half of a sample of the reported content was still available when we checked days before filing the complaint. So the New Mexico Attorney General's office checks again. After they make these complaints, they wait a couple months, and right before filing the complaint, they go and check. Still, nothing's been done about this stuff. Investigators found content that was removed frequently reappeared, or Meta just recommended an alternative, equally problematic content to their users, demonstrating both that Meta is capable of identifying the content but not of dealing with it. Moreover, their reliance on user reports to identify unlawful, dangerous, or inappropriate conduct demonstrates the failure of its own efforts to detect and remove these materials. Facebook and Instagram accounts are also known to advertise and facilitate the operation of commercial sex enterprises offering porn or advertising video call services like those listed below. Again, I can't show these images because they're graphic, but what this is showing a list of accounts of their girls, or their Instagram profiles of pictures of a girl with a name that says video call Janny or Chaya, video call service available, girl video call. It's, yeah, among those services are accounts featuring children marketed for this activity. Now, check this out. Okay, I can share this part. Yeah. Hello, good to see you out there, winning. It's all fed false flag to normalize and intensify surveillance. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, of course they want to normalize and intensify surveillance. They're going to do that regardless, but this stuff is happening. I mean, to say it's not actually happening, or that it's a psyop that this is happening, it's happening. Like, you can see the pictures in the complaint. This is from the New Mexico Attorney General's office, so I don't think they're lying about that. But Gregory, sorry, I'm sorry. Gregory? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That was a really boomer moment. It's almost like they're not afraid of repercussions. What type of support must they have in order to be so openly brazen? That is a very good question. Obviously, they have a lot of support to be so brazen. So I don't know what to say. But it is what it is. Oh, okay. So, oh my. Oh, I'm looking at sorry guys. I know, because like the way the camera is, this is not autofocus. So when because I'm a boomer, I have to lean forward to read something, I feel like I get out of focus and I look all blurry. Good to see you, Pyramid 7. Hello. I was just saying hi to everybody on the chat on Nice Crew TV. There's like a lot of you guys there. Hello. Mushroom, good to see you. Rose, good to see you. Jill. Oh my gosh. That's so exciting. What about Rumble? I should check Rumble. Jacob, you're on Rumble too, and Michelle, you as well. I think you guys are both on YouTube though. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have to type into the chat here because I haven't done it yet on NCTV. Okay. Wait, what? You can't verify any AI creative? No, I think it's silly to think that this isn't happening. Of course it is on these platforms. The idea that like child trafficking isn't happening at all and it's like a psyop, that's ridiculous. Yes, it's happening, and yes, it's happening on these platforms. It is very widespread. You can look at statistics on that. But yeah. Okay, so like I said, I can't really I can share the screen here, but I can't. It's impossible, I feel like, to just go through this complaint because everything in this is going to violate terms of service. Okay, so a search for this word on Facebook was blocked and returned no results, but the same search on Instagram yielded numerous accounts, including one, for example, that remained active on Instagram but was suspended on X or Twitter for violating the rules. The account had no posts, but included stories that were viewable and showed videos of individuals engaged in inappropriate activity. Contrary to Meta's public representations, their platform contains account after account with images and associated text depicting that word, nudity, child predator content, SA, this horrific thing, and other awful things. These accounts often consisted of immense social networks of individuals following and commenting on the videos and images posted on the platforms. Many of them found were excluded from the complaint because they were too graphic and disturbing. So there's a lot of graphic and disturbing things in this complaint that I have not been able to show, but there was even stuff that was too graphic for this even. Meta hosts content in large volumes that even adult content platforms have removed. Also very bizarre. So, yeah, I don't think we need to read this, but it gets into the case study. So if we go to page 4, yeah, oh my God, I can't even show that. Okay, so they now have the case studies. This one is really awful. This was when, so they went undercover. Yeah, corruption. Yes. The Attorney General's office went undercover. They created a couple fake accounts, just seeing what these accounts could do on the platforms. And this was one of them. And you can see that the way these platforms are set up is they're designed. Somebody created the algorithms that are designed to facilitate this activity. That's what really I think is being alleged here. State investigators developed a profile for Rosalind Cerceres, I guess that's how you say it, a 40-year-old fictional bad mother to a 13-year-old chat persona, Issa B. The mother lives in Albuquerque, is described as a Colombian immigrant from Medellin who primarily speaks Spanish and Portuguese based on experience with the symbols language and earmarks of potential trafficking. The profile incorporated signals that the mother was interested in trafficking her daughter. The profile displayed a crown tattoo and a tattoo on the inside of her lip, marking her as likely owned by a street gang pimp. I'm not going to show the pictures. Within 3 days of establishing the profile, without any efforts to promote the account, it reached its maximum limit of 5,000 Facebook friends and over 3,000 followers. I think I can share that part with you guys. But yeah, so within 3 days of creating this fictional account, this is what the Attorney General's office did as part of their undercover operation. They created an account of a woman posing as somebody who was going to be interested in selling their child. And within 3 days, the account blows up. 5,000, it reaches its 5,000 maximum friends and over 3,000 followers. So how did that many people find the page in a 3-day period? Because Facebook knows who the predators are and they have networks. So they distribute accounts like that. They're getting distributed to these pedophile networks. That's what's happening. Okay. Hello, Christina. Good to see you out there. And I do agree that there is some part of the I think part of the reason this is being brought to light now, and part of the issue with it being brought to light now, is they're trying to regulate the entire internet. And while this is a problem, it is not the reason to impose something like an ID for social media, because that's where they're trying to go with it. They're going to take something like this that is a very real issue, and they'll try to use it to get people emotionally to react and respond to this idea of having like digital IDs, so that you have to have, and Nikki Haley said this recently that she wanted this to happen, and Jordan Peterson has said the same thing. They don't want people to be able to be anonymous on the internet, so they want to have all of your accounts linked to your ID. and they're going to use this issue to try to get that through. The problem, though, is they're going to do that regardless. Like, it is what it is. And your comments here in chat are so dumb, though. It's not, nobody is stupid enough to not understand who owns Facebook. We called it LifeLog at the beginning of the stream. But to think that the platforms aren't being used for this activity is ridiculous. That is what they're going to do. That is what's happening. So yeah, this is the other thing. Like, the idea that this isn't, of course it's a thing. Remember how they tried to discredit that, and think about how many, not only has it's widely understood now that that story was real. Moreover, a lot of the people who quote unquote debunked it have literally been arrested for it. There was a reporter from Ars Technica who literally went online by the handle Dr. Pizza, who was arrested for this. There was the editor from The Recount, who was another big debunker of this in 2017 that was arrested for this. And Arturo is right. The internet in general is used for all kinds of things. Exactly. That's right. Nobody here is forgetting anything. Exactly. But he's always making comments like that. Like, literally every video, he's going to say negative stuff because he just spurgs, you know. It is what it is. He spurgs. It's okay, though. We accept it. So yeah, this suggests, though, like I said, and as the lawsuit says, that they know about this content, they're profiting from it, and it proliferates on there. As shown below, she shows a picture of the daughter, and it basically what happened was it got filled with like, she posted that picture, and again, this was an undercover account, so presumably that's a fake picture, but it had a bunch of predators immediately commenting on it. I think the point is they can censor these stories and other things they don't like, but this stuff that harms kids is just out in the open and served up. Yes, but it is happening, though, and it is verifiable. Like, these people get arrested all the time for doing this stuff. Okay. So I don't know if I can, yeah, no, I'm not going to, I can show this. You can see this part. This is some of the comments on here. So you can see all these creeps start responding to the picture of the child with inappropriate comments. They use symbol. So here's a symbol that they use. This symbol with the heart and the cross fingers. That's supposed to mean X-rated love or something. Okay, so it says that the daughter and the mother share 164 friends. One of those friends recently added the underage girl to a group chat primarily focused on cultivating lolly girls, ages 12 to 16, and providing inappropriate content. Issa reported the group numerous times to Facebook, but it still remains active. After her last report, Facebook merely instructed her to leave the group. What more needs to be said? They know that the group is there. They know that it's to serve illegal content, and they don't care. They're not taking it down. They just told her, then leave the group. This is what is supposed to be a 13-year-old girl's account. So, let's see. Yeah, they just asked her to leave. I don't want to show those. I can't show those screenshots. This is something I didn't know about, but I learned this. They have proven they can censor anything they want with extreme precision. For them to act all inept when it comes to this is ridiculous. Absolutely correct. That is so true. When there's somebody they want to censor or shut down or cancel or deplatform, they can find things from 20 years ago. Like that. Yes, the idea that they just, are inept or just couldn't. No, it's none of those things. It's not that they're inept or just couldn't deal with it, or, oh, we just don't have the resources. None of this is true. What what they uncovered and what the Attorney General's office is alleging in this lawsuit is that Facebook, Meta, the umbrella company, so Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, whatever, Mark Zuckerberg, they are, it is designed, the platforms have, part of these platforms are built in design to facilitate this activity because they know the activity is happening, but the selling of the materials, and they know what they're doing. They're making it happen. They're connecting them together, and they're suggesting, like that says, the algorithm is literally serving up children to these people. It is recommending them. It's an internal decision that these companies have made because they make money. Yeah. Ooh, yep, exactly. That's actually a very good point. They will do stuff like that. It is really, it's horrific, guys. I don't even, okay, I want to share this part with you, and then we're going to wrap it up because I keep saying that I'm going to wrap it up, but then I keep getting angrier and angrier the more I go through this stuff. During the investigation, remember, this is investigators posing as a mother who is offering her daughter for sale on the platforms. She posted that her daughter was admitted to a children's hospital in San Antonio, Texas, for psychiatric and medical treatment following a potential SA. Traffickers often use hospitals to transfer children and other victims into and out of custody. This is something I was not aware of. She posted a photo of the hospital on the Facebook profile. We're not going to show that because it's inappropriate, but I can show this part. In response, a friend and follower posted an image of two men shaking hands, exchanging a briefcase. The comment suggested and acknowledged a business transaction. So she posted that picture, and look at the comment here. Why would you post that in this context unless, it's literally is what they're saying. Like, they saw that's apparently a code for these people. Like, they have their own codes and stuff. It's ridiculous. None of these posts were flagged. We're not going to go through the other case studies. There's numerous case studies throughout the lawsuit. It's over 200 pages. They have pictures, screenshots of the videos and stuff that is on. Like, there's lots of, you can see the evidence. You can go look at the screenshots of this stuff yourself. It will horrify you. And I mean, some of this stuff is just awful. It is awful. Good Lord. Yeah, I can't show any of this. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I want y'all to be able to see this, but I can't show it. Good Lord. Yeah, you should go over this yourself. You should read it yourself. I can't share any more of it at this point. I do want to move on, though. There is one thing I want to cover that happened after this. So after this lawsuit was launched or announced, that was, I believe, December 5th. So today's the 12th. So it was like last week. This was announced the next day. What are the odds? Meta announces they are launching default end-to-end encryption on Messenger. We have started to roll out end-to-end encryption for all personal chats and calls on Messenger and Facebook, making them even more private and secure. So what they're doing by enabling this, they're making it default end-to-end encryption across Meta's products. This comes the day after this lawsuit. You have to wonder, like, are they trying to protect these predators? They're now encrypting their conversations. Like, whoa, that was just crazy to me. And that was publicly announced The last thing we'll cover is that the final story I was telling you guys about. Everything we'd covered up until now was in chronological order, starting in 2020 with the lawsuit against Facebook for collecting biometric data on people, moving forward to 2022 when they were sued by the parents of a girl who accuses the platform of basically causing her to hurt herself. Moving forward to the researchers and investigators from Wall Street Journal, from two universities, and their study that came out in July of this year, to the lawsuit just a few days ago from the New Mexico Attorney General's office. Now they're launching the end-to-end encryption. So it's just kind of wild to me. But this is the story I was telling you guys about that was from 2017. I hadn't brought it up. I didn't cover this in the beginning of the stream just because it didn't really, it wouldn't make sense to cover it before. Having gone over all of that stuff, now we can talk about this because this is not a new, like, it's not new. They've known about this forever. This is an article from 2017. Facebook is hiring moderators, but is the job too gruesome to handle? The network has pledged to work harder to identify and remove disturbing content, but doing so can take a psychological toll. These people, so this article is from The Guardian. It's from 2017, and it is written by people who've had to work as content moderators there. And in 2017, they were talking about this stuff. They were saying that this inappropriate child essay material was proliferating across it, and they were getting PTSD from having to like look at this stuff. So they've known about this. So, like, this is not new information. They've known, and I find it highly suspicious that they launched the next day default end-to-end encryption, because now all of those communications from those predators and the networks that have been identified, are they all going to be encrypted now? Like, is that data going to be preserved? I don't know. But it makes me angry. Yesterday, I listened to Marty Maid's complete Jeffrey E series that is so much darker than I thought. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Yes. You're welcome. Of course, I like to cover this, the entrapment cases. Oh, you haven't caught me live before. Well, I don't go live that often. That's why. I just don't like doing it. I don't know. I feel like I'm not good at that because I will just ramble and talk forever. And then who wants to watch on a replay me sitting here just like rambling? Honestly, that's why I like to pre-record my videos, and I've started using like bullet points to keep myself focused, because I will just like ramble. It is very strange. It's called being a woman. He went into the Dutroux case in Belgium. Oh God, Dutroux, yeah. I don't want to get into it. This has already been disturbing enough. Like, we don't need to make it worse. Okay, let's see. I think that's it. There's nothing else I wanted to cover with this. I just wanted to share with you guys what is happening on Meta, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and the fact that this is they are facilitating this, and they don't get shut down, but something like Omegle gets shut down. Odyssey's gone now. Like, I mean, it's still around, but who knows who owns Odyssey? It's just very concerning, and it makes me very angry to see that they're allowed to get away with stuff like this, and they can do this out in the open and nothing happens. No one does anything about it. Why don't people care about protecting their children? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's depressing. All right, I've rambled enough. I'm going to update the video description on the stream. I will do that across platforms here on YouTube, on Rumble, on nicecrew.tv. And it was my first stream over there. Very happy, that that's a thing. And I encourage you guys to please support the platform. In fact, I'm going to link I'm going to send a link to I'll put the link to that stream here just so you guys have the link to it if you want to. That'll take you to the live stream over on that platform. You could just bookmark my channel there. So you have it and save it. Because if anything ever happens to me here on YouTube, you can find me on Rumble and NCTV. Yeah. And who knows what's going to happen with Odyssey. Like, I don't know who owns it right now. It's kind of like up in the air. So while it still exists, we don't really know what the future of the platform is, if that makes sense. So if I'm going to invest my time like into putting my stuff on a platform, I want to make sure that it's going to be there for a while and that I know who is running it. Yeah. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.